Hello, Simon Gordon. Yes, that's what we're saying hello to first here because Simon is in line waiting for this Thursday edition. Well, it's always the Thursday, so it's not a Thursday edition. This week's edition of the live showcase. My name is Peter. Peter, my name is Peter. Can't go back on a live. This is Goody Reader, and I have a huge scratch on my nose. Let's just get this out of the park right now. My son scratched me whilst we were asleep, and he wakes up and he's like, "Daddy, your nose." I'm like, "What's wrong with my nose?" And of course, there's a massive scratch on my nose, center head mass. But the show must go on, and today we have the iReader Neo. And why we are talking about this is because iReader is a huge brand. You might not have heard of them, you might not know who they are, but they are a big brand. These guys, iReader, have been around for a long time. They have a ton of devices under their belts. They make e-notes. They were the first to make color in the modern era in 2019. That's the second wave of color. These guys are huge. They have very good pen stationery, digital stationery. Sorry, we got ads when you open the stream again. Really, Simon? Okay. I'm gonna make a note, legit, because we're not supposed to have ads during what do you call support Goody Reader. Yeah, I mean the ads help us support, but yeah, I'm just gonna make a little note here. No ads during. Okay, yeah, support Goody Reader for sure. I mean, the ads help, but usually we don't roll ads on the lives because they're live. So sorry about that, everybody. Oh, I got a remarkable ad. My mom said that's funny. And hey, Mike, what's going on? So yeah, iReader's a massive company, guys. If you guys don't know them by now, go to our YouTube page. I don't even know how many iReader devices have we even covered now. If I just simply go over to our YouTube and type in iReader. Oh yeah, tons of videos, man. Like 50 videos on iReader. And no, we're not paid by iReader or anything like that, but they're a massive player. They're a main player in the meta of the e-reader world. So all their stuff is in English now. We worked tirelessly with them to finally tell them, hey, if you guys want to be an international player on the stage, you guys have to know that you have to put your stuff in English. Oh, Mike, $1.49. That buys me, I don't know, like a bottle of tea and like a small like bag of little chocolate circles maybe. So yeah, thanks, man. Diamond level there. Diamond Club. Mike Kozlowski. Greetings from Brazil. Oh, how do you say hello in Portuguese? It's not hola, or maybe it is hola. It's just some variation of hola. But anyways, hola, Socrates. I know you don't speak Spanish in Brazil, but oh, DM is here too. So let's get into it. Why this is interesting, guys, and this is a huge thing, and this is where we've seen a shift. Michael in the news publication touched on this. Myself and the review team over here in Japan touched on this. I can't find a freaking tape measure to save my life. And of course, this is Japan, so there's no inches on it. Okay, well, this is a 6-inch screen. And what is interesting about this is because a lot of manufacturers don't even make 6 inches anymore. This is honest. This is an honest thing that's happening right now. We've seen a definite shift in the industry. Amazon has moved. How do you do it? Right there. 75% of its e-readers away from 6 inches. The Oasis is not 6. The Scribe is 10.2, and the Paperwhites now, differentiating themselves from the Basic, are 6.8. Manufacturers like Big Me and 15 cm screen. Thanks, Simon. Oh man, yeah. So manufacturers like Big Me, Remarkable, Sony, Fujitsu, Dasung, Hanvon, they don't even make 6-inch devices. 6 inches are actually going out of style. And why I say going out of style is because e-readers inherently started with 6 inches. They were all 6-inch devices. All the Sonys were hovering around that. The Amazons were that. It's very strange to see it kind of go away, is what we're saying. Manufacturers don't like this because they're just too small. And as costs increase, they're not even cheap anymore. The only cheap 6-inch arguably would be the Amazon, and that's only because they get you an Amazon into your hands as quick as possible in order to sell you services after the fact. So that's really the only person that can sell you $19 Amazon Kindle Basics 2 gens old on Wish, because no one else can compete. The iReader is over $200, and that's not for any other fault but just the world and the consumer prices right now. So unfortunately, 6 inches aren't even really that cheap spread across the board. DM just donated $2. Thank you so much, DM. As always, we always appreciate it, but we do not require the donations. We are doing this as a give back. It is a live showcase and showing you the devices, but thanks so much. We really appreciate that all the same. For PDFs, this is not the way to go. You don't want this for PDFs. It's too small. I can't read anything. It's very, very small. You can do pinch and zooms, and it looks good after the fact, but you lose your orientation. Is that right? Gain my orientation. Your whereabouts. You lose your whereabouts on where you are. You lose your bearings. You're like, I don't know where I am on the screen, and there's no mini map to help you out. There's just a zoom level of percentage, and it could be arbitrary based on where you are on the page. If you zoom over here, it's still going to be 300% zoom. It's just 300% zoom on the bottom quadrant. So it's really not even that good for pinching and zooming, because it becomes more of a chore. It's more something you have to deal with rather than something you want to jump to use. Now for e-reading, it's totally fine. There's pull the focus. There we go. Webcams, man, you can't lock focus, at least on like OBS. So this is the e-reading experience. It looks totally fine. It performs very well. You can do highlights and long presses and all that kind of stuff. It's very quick as well, and it's a very high quality screen. There's no problems with that. It is a miraculous experience. It's very fast. I love it. If you long press on something, you get a bunch of things: underline, notes, copy, search, encyclopedia, share. And again, all the elements are in English. And this is a huge thing, because up until 2000, I want to say 20, iReader was like, nope, no English. And it's like, well, we can't sell your stuff. We can't market your stuff then. I mean, we'll market it, but we'll just tell everyone that you can't use it, like an iFlyTech. And look what happened when they put English on their stuff. They became successful. They've expanded their product lines. They've become more of an international presence in the world of e-readers. And that's what we want to see. We want to see everyone succeed, obviously. Manga's good too. It's very wieldy, because you just hold it like that. You can use it with one hand. My thumb just clicked. That's it. You got your manga. It's a great little micro e-reader. It's super light. This thing is feather light. And you know what? They even have a pogo pin at the back. Although it's very strange, because we've asked them and we said, hey, what kind of peripherals do you guys have? And they're like, oh, there isn't any. And we're like, you got a pogo pin at the back. Do you have like a like a proprietary magnetic snap charger? And they're like, nope. And we're like, what's that? And they're like, it's for accessories. So I get it. It's for future accessories if you want something. But the thing about this is that it's very small. You wouldn't attach a physical page turn rail to it. Cases already have sleep cover capabilities. It's very low battery consumption, so you wouldn't necessarily need an extended battery like a Sage. The reason the Sage had that additional case was to correct the problem of the Sage's battery being too small by Kobo. But this isn't the case here. And you wouldn't utilize it with a keyboard, because it has no apps that you can leverage the abilities to take notes. So I don't know why this unit has these little pogo pins on the back. Pogo pins, traditionally right there, they're these little copper contacts, and peripherals latch onto them. So if you had something like, I don't know, here, like, a battery case, right? You would go like this and it would go snap, and it's like, oh, you've just increased your battery or whatever, right? But for the most part, I can't figure out what that would all be for. It wouldn't even be for a speaker rail, because you have onboard audio. And that's the thing about iReader, is that they always give you onboard audio, which is really cool. I just can't, for the life of me, understand why. Number one, why they have it. Number two, why they won't answer us. I like the Nook, but they gave up. Did the Nook give up? And I'll go back to the iReader in a second if you guys ask some questions, but we always like the discussion here. Did the Nook give up? They didn't actually give up. In fact, if you look at it, they have been putting more resources towards the Nook in recent present than they have in the past. They had the Nook Lite, where they actually took away some features and offered it at a cheaper price, and then they went to get the Nook Pink Edition, which is the only time they've had a color variant of the actual Nook. Not only that, they had the Nook Glow Light Plus, which was a 7.8. They even had like refurbished ones available, and they had a tie-in with Lenovo, which finally, after all the failed collaborations with Samsung Galaxy back in the day, the Lenovo collaboration's actually really good. I genuinely enjoyed it. I did not enjoy the Galaxy Tab 4 Nook. It was it was a joke. It was an actual joke. I mean, it's more money than the Galaxy Tab, and it has more crap on it. You could have just bought the Galaxy Tab and downloaded Nook after, and you wouldn't be bothered by all of the Barnes and Noble bloatware. It's like, it was a weird move, but the Lenovo collaboration is very good. It's very high quality through and through. So I wouldn't say Nook gave up at all. In fact, they've brought back a lot of their Nook advertisements and stuff in the stores, depending on where you live. But no, they're just reworking some things. You know, Nook has had a little bit of a checkered past with having just a revolving door of employees, and the design teams having no consistency throughout the generations. The consistency throughout the generations is completely absent. Some of the Nooks look like a bar of soap. Some of them look like just this weird cookie cutter slate. And some of them were like, okay, let's make this new thing that looks like a thing 10 year older. It's all over the place with Barnes & Noble, but I wouldn't say they gave up. No. It's just, you know, we like to open your guys' eyes when you suggest little talking topics. Does Sony manufacture their own or someone else? Sony manufactures their own ebook readers, and they're still making them to this day. A lot of people think Sony's dead. We actually did a couple pieces on the Sony devices, and they're still alive. You can still buy the 350, you can buy the T2, the T3, you can buy the DPT. They have 2 smartwatches running e-ink. They have a home remote. They have a lot of stuff, honestly. They're a full-line manufacturer that have just kind of dropped off the radar, even though they're the biggest household name. It's just crazy. Camera accessory. Sure, you could. Yeah, SD card, Pogo. I've never seen a Pogo pin SD card attachment rail dock, but anything could happen. Sure, you guys are right. I love the Perfect Viewer Android app. I can read manga with a 6-inch. You see, that's the thing about this guy right here, is that it doesn't have apps in the traditional sense. It has like, can never remember right here. No. File manager? Yeah, file manager. Okay, so these are its apps. It has file, import, transfer, Baidu NetDisk, and then it's got a music player. It's got a gallery. That's it. It can't really. Did the Amazon gang hit you in the nose? Yeah, we said some stuff about Amazon, and they invited us to their office, and they're like, hey, why don't you guys just come on by for a second? I'm like, okay, sure. And I got my laptop bag, went there, and then boof. No, my son scratched my nose whilst I was sleeping, and I love how it's just like right in the middle of my nose. Couldn't have been like off to the side where I can kind of cheat it. No. It's just there for my daily life for the next 3 weeks. So that's great. Yeah. So it has some apps, but they're not traditional apps. They're really just like the core features of really any electronic device with a UI. You have to have a gallery, you have to have some sort of file manager, but you can't sideload anything in, at least right out of the gates. You could root it. I mean, you could root anything. We've got users of ours like Kevin Bossy, who has taken the BIOS or something from a Nook and written it to a Kobo or something along those lines. He was saying stuff to me, and I was like, I like, you need to work for us, man. You're crazy. So I blame the cat. Well, I don't have a cat, but I'd blame the cat. I guess 6 inches is the size of paperback, and 7.8 is the size of a hardback book. Oh yeah, okay, maybe, could be. I don't know why, but no one likes 6 inches anymore. Nobody uses. If you didn't catch the top of the hour, we were saying that when it comes to 6-inch devices, many manufacturers don't even make them anymore. And it was weird because 6 inches started everything. And now Amazon, even 75% of their line is not 6-inch anymore. And there are more. This is a weird fact, honestly. There are more in the e-reader world, in the e-ink e-reader world, e-paper world. There are more non-6 inches than there are 6 inches. That sat with us for a second when we kind of looked at the facts. Because back, like 07, 8, 9, 10, there were 6 inches everywhere. The Bokeen was doing them. Mike, who's the guys that they were sold at like Walmart and stuff like that? They had like speakers on it. It has something to do with water, or like the name had water in it or liquid or something in it. Dang, I can't remember. So many devices we go through. But yeah, Pocketbook, they still make 6 inches. But yeah, Pocketbook was in it. Bokeen with the Diva and stuff like that. Everyone was making 6-inch e-readers, and now nobody wants to make them. There are more. No, everyone's like, no. Some full line manufacturers like Big Me, they're like, no. We're starting at 7. There's not even any reason to make a 6. because they don't want to. It's not even going to be cheap like an Amazon. You can't have race to the bottom prices when, you know, you're sitting something like this and it's $200. It's good, but that's just the reality of the situation right now. Is that if you look outside the big three, which is Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Kobo, if you look outside of that, then you're going to see high prices. Every single manufacturer. Sahib, as I said, oh yeah, I guess you just joined so you wouldn't hear me. My son scratched my nose whilst I was sleeping, and then he woke up. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I scratched your nose by accident. I was like, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, if you look outside the big three, everyone's going to be high priced because they can't simply, iReader can't simply say, hey, I want 7 million 6-inch panels. Amazon's saying that. They're like, oh, I want 7 million 6-inch panels. And E-Ink's like, sure, here you go. Here's a big stack of EPDs, electronic paper displays. And then iReader's like, well, I want 100 of them. And they're like, oh, you only want 100? Okay, well, it's going to be more money. And they have to build that into the deal. And that's why it's more money than an Amazon. Because that's the only thing they could do is compete with the big three. Audio is surprisingly really good. I like the audio. I've always enjoyed the fact that when you get an iReader, you're getting a lot of features, more so than the average alternative, because there is not one damn pocketbook in the world that has a speaker on it. That's an over-exaggeration, and in fact, the InkPad 4 does have a speaker on it, but you know what I mean. Like, a lot of devices, Amazon got rid of the speakers back in the Kindle Touch. Barnes & Noble, I don't think has ever had a speaker. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so there's no speakers on Barnes and Nobles. Kobo doesn't dabble in speakers. They do on the Vox and stuff like that, but they don't do speakers. But when you get iReader, you get a lot of flexibility. You can go to the all files and it just browses everything on your device's root storage. All you have to do is put on the root storage and everything categorizes itself. And you can put fonts, you can put books, you can put dictionaries, you can import your own files. They have a store as well. And you know what? It's unfortunate how they don't have like an English branch of the iReader store. You know, the iReader store is so damn big that manufacturers as big as Hisense don't even have their own store. They use the iReader store. A lot of manufacturers around the world actually pull from the iReader store. They're that big. These guys are huge. You know, some of these guys like iReader and Hanvon and stuff like that, they got like towers, actual dedicated towers where they do the development and the daily business practices of these units. It's pretty freaking crazy, guys. Like, you know, I name a bunch of e-reader companies that don't got no towers. Mike and I were talking about erecting a tower. We think we said we were starting with cardboard, and we'll see what the construction invoice hits us with at that point, and then maybe we'll work up to some, you know, do the whole 3 pigs approach. Make one out of sticks, make one out of wood, make one out of bricks. We'll see what happens, but let's see what we got here. Go into some questions. 6 inches my best me book. 6 inches is the best. Oh, I see. My Me Book is always in my pocket. Yeah, they fit in your pocket. Honestly, the 6-inch devices do fit in like standard like jeans and cargo shorts. They can fit in your pocket. Yes, for sure. That's a very good one. Why root one when you can get a Me Book for $170? See, that's the thing. That's the thing. You see, the Me Book isn't built as well as this. The iReader is built better, but the Me Book does more, and it has Google Play. So you're right. You know, it's definitely going to it's man. I can't even, you know, every time we do these lives, guys, and we really appreciate you guys like talking and giving us all these things, but just it keeps opening our brain to know, like, you know, how many e-reader companies are there right now, and how many e-paper alternative techs are emerging, like MIP and iMu and all these like, you know, what was that monitor we just did? I think it was the iMu. No, it wasn't. That was the RLED. Color RLD. There's a monitor we did, and it was like a see-through monitor. There is so many options. Why, Ben, who is an absolute no thought, just released 5 e-readers. Xiaomi sent us a box of 3 samples. We have a freaking 13.3 laying on the ground right now. I'm not even joking. I'll show you. I kid you not. Hanvon just released this. This is a 13.3-inch e-note. You know what I mean? Like, fully English. So it's like, I think Mike and I were talking about this at a board meeting yesterday. We have so much stuff on the docket. Mike does this crazy review, well researched, well thought out review on the InkPad 4, and by the afternoon our writing team bumps it, like, completely just tanks it to the ground. And it's no fault of our own, because we cover so much stuff. There's so many ebook readers in the world, and I mean, just talking about Kindle alone would be enough, but it's just crazy, guys. So, like, yeah, when Danky Frankie's talking about MeBook, yeah, MeBook is a valid choice as well. HiRead has a big line of devices. Readmoo out of Taiwan has the first color 7.8-inch Kaleido 3. You know what I mean? No one's talking about these guys except us. We're trying to... Pocketbook has 3 freaking devices right now. 3 of them that we got to do. It's crazy, guys. Yeah, so I'm just blathering on until you guys ask questions about this. But yeah, I regret buying a Nook Color and a Nook HD. I would regret the Nook HD. That might have been a mistake. But no, the Nook Color, man, that was... The Nook Color and the Nook Tablet was the first time we saw actual tablets emerge to a point where people could buy them and attain them at a low price. That all kind of started around the Nook Color, and then the Nook Color was so successful they called it the Nook Tablet. They didn't want to call it the Nook Color anymore because they didn't want to confuse people with the actual ebook reader line. What about all the batteries that need replacing? Are you thinking about expanding your business? What about all the batteries that... Oh, like doing service? No, we don't do service. We got so much on our plate. We deal with 45 plus manufacturers. We make our own e-readers with Big Me. I mean, there's no way we're doing like, battery swapping service. Honestly too, e-readers are so disposable. It's so sad because yeah, if you buy a MeBook for $170, it's like, can I replace the battery? Sure, there'll be $70 for the battery replacement. Nice. And you have to ship it to us. Oh, and then you have to pay for return shipping. It's like, can I just buy a new MeBook? It's like, yeah, that's what you're gonna do. So unfortunately, the price would have to be really high. Like, you'd have to get a Fujitsu Quaderno for like $700, and then you could justify like, okay, I'm gonna repair it. But anything on the smaller end of things, the 6 inches, the 6.8, 7.8s, it might not be that worth it. It's kind of planned obsolescence. It's like, it's not meant to last 20 years. Look at Onyx, man. Those guys released 5 gens of the Note in, I think, like a 3.5-year span. It's pretty crazy. How do you guys get ebooks on the Kindle without pirating? Well, you can download and purchase legitimate ebooks that get delivered to you via EPUB and then drag and drop them onto your Kindle. Or you can buy them from the Kindle. So the Amazon bookstore has millions of books and editorials and comic books. Just download them and purchase them. Thank you, Frankie. I regret the Pocketbook 3. I think that's where it was. Too slow for comic books. Yeah, InkPad 4, though. Really nice. Very nice. Also, what's the ultimate manga reader with a good battery life? It's a good question. And we're all done for today. No, I don't know. Ultimate manga reader. Get yourself a Leaf 2 by Onyx. That's a good one. If you get a Leaf 2, you get 7... Is it a 7-inch or 7.8? Oh my god. They didn't do 7, right? The ink pad are all 7.8s. The Pocket Note by Big Me 7. Oh my god, what's the Leaf? Is the Leaf a 7? I think the Leaf is a 7. Let's look it up. Let's look it up, guys. Someone's going to beat me to it. I can't remember if the Leaf's a 7. My brain is filled with all this e-reader crap. Is the Leaf a 7-inch? It is a 7. Okay, it's a 7-inch. Yeah, Leaf 2, you get 2 choices too. You get the sunken screen or you get the flush screen and bezel. The sunken one is white. You get physical page turn buttons. You get Android. You get Google Play, which is important, and why I mention that is because if you don't like one particular manga app, the way the UI feels, the way it looks, you can just go to Google Play, beep bop boot, and download 67 different manga alternatives, and then you can read till your heart's content. Turn everything off, turn the Wi-Fi off, glow light off, and that thing's gonna last a long time. Don't worry about that. Now, what else we got here? Anna says interesting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Anna, there's lots of stuff, lots of, books out there on the Amazon store. Socrates says, "Oh man, I'm like right on the edge of sneezing, so I'm just like my eyes are pooling up. I'm just so happy." Yeah, I worry about the obsolescence of these Android-based devices. It's completely planned obsolescence. I mean, some of the earlier stuff from 2013, like Kindle Touches, they still work. The manga model from 2014 still works, but then yeah, you get this new stuff, and it's just the nature of the beast, like. Onyx just released. What the heck did they just release? Like, they just released, the Air, and then they did the Air 2 Plus. Then they did the Air 2, and then the Air 2 Plus. And Pygmy, they did the Inknote Color Plus, and then they did the Inknote Color Plus Light, like moments later. Hisense does the A5, the A5 Pro, the A5CC, the A5C, the A5 Pro CC, the A7, the A7CC, the iReader, you know what I mean? Like the A9 Pro. It is, did I yawn? I thought I said I was gonna sneeze. Did I say yawn? I can't remember now. But yeah, it is kind of, you're right. It is kind of like an obsolescence thing. You see, the thing is about these companies is that they don't have the services like Remarkable does, like Amazon, like Barnes and Noble does. So they have to sell you the e-reader devices to make money because they can't make money anywhere else. You get an Amazon, you get this on Woot, and you're like, oh yeah, I just got this refurb Amazon Basic for $19. That's a real thing. People have been getting it for that. They get this thing and you're like, okay, Kindle Unlimited. Oh, I'm too smart for this service. Oh, it's a lot of cool stuff. Boom, monthly subscription. Kindle, whatever, another service comes in, you're like, okay, I'll get that one too. Oh, Prime. If I get Prime, I don't have to pay for that. Okay, Prime, boom, you've just turned your $19 thing into a monthly credit card bill. That's what you've done. But that's why they get the e-reader in your hands as cheap as possible so that you can start downloading the services and going to the store and saying, oh, this new book came out, $17.99. This new manga came out. It's marked down to only $6, $6 bill. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what happens. iReader can do that in China with their store, but when you get one, you're like, cool, this is my thing. That's how it ends for 4 years for them and you. The business relationship between you as a consumer and them as a company, they're not making any more money off of you. Zero. So that's why they need to be like, here's the Neo Pro Plus Light Bing Bang Kaboom version, because then you'll say, oh, I gotta get that, and then they get another $200 bill from you. So that's kind of how it works, is that if they don't have any services, that's why they're Remarkable. Discontinued the first gen, only has the second gen, got rid of a bunch of pens and stuff too, yet they've sold 1 million of them, and they don't need to make any other ones out of that. They don't need to make the Pro, the Light, the Glow Light Plus version. They just have the Remarkable because you're paying for the services on the Connect plan and stuff like that. So yeah, if you don't have after sales services, then you're not gonna make any money as a brand. So that's kind of how it works. Yeah, we all have nooks and stuff in the other room and the stock room in the offices and Kobos from God knows when that just work fine. Yeah, Glow Light 1 works. Yeah, Jobs said the device cost is irrelevant. The service that gets my that's how it works. Look at Huawei, man. Huawei is officially the second e-note company that locks things behind a paywall. Remarkable was the only one to do it up until now. But now we did a little expose now. We just did a little video on it on our YouTube channel. If you type in Huawei, you'll see it's one of the most recent ones. They have like 3 different payment tiers, services. One's like points, one's packages, and one's just a credit card bill. It's crazy. Yep, it's true, because they got to make money off you after they sell you the thing. And if they can't, then it's Onyx. Then it's Air 2, Air 2 Plus, Air 2 Plus, what do they call? Bundle, where you get all this free stuff. And then they go Pen 2 Pro, Pen Plus. You know what I mean? They have to make money somehow. And we all say, oh, I don't like that. It's like, well, then they'll go out of business. Because they will. Because they have to compete. And that's the way they do it. That's how the business works. So sorry for my rambling, but I don't think anyone asked a question about this. No shame. It's totally fine. We understand it's a lesser known device in the world. It's not exactly the highest clout in the world of ebook readers. iReader's still working on their international presence, so we totally understand. So DM, thank you, Frankie, Gilberto Serrano. My allergies are going nuts again. We got Anna, we got Felipe, we got Socrates Bastos. Oh, that's a cool name. It's like a gladiator name. I don't know. Sunhaib, DM, say that. Simon Gordon, of course. Always a pleasure. MZ. Oh, DM, thank you again for the donation. Michael Kozlowski, my mom, and that is everyone who stopped by today. If you guys have any questions, leave it down below. I'll be around for about 10 minutes on the video while I'm doing some office stuff, and then I will be out and about doing some more stuff. I think we might be doing some roll on the 13.3 inch hand phone today. No, it's really light, actually. This is very light. They just sent us this. We got into a distribution agreement with Hanvon now. Yeah, Mike set it up. Him and the team. They're knocking down doors and being like, "Hey, team up with us." And yeah, he got the distribution agreement, and we're now a distributor of Hanvon, all English and stuff too. So, yep, you guys are fantastic. I really do appreciate you coming by. And if you ever tell me that you just want to see the video itself, please pardon me, and you don't want to hear me talk about the industry and stuff like that, just say it. Say stop. All of you just be like, hey, stop yapping and get back to the unit. We would love that too. Just doing something to fill time and, you know, educate you guys a little bit. So thank you so much, everyone. Till next week. I think that's it.